What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Heroclix video. We are on the rares portion of the War of the Realms competitive review. There are definitely much more figures here to look over than the uncommons because they're rare, so naturally there should be more. So let's just start with the first one is Thor number 31. This is the shifting focus. Of all the shifting focus ones, this is the one I think will see the least play unless he's on the back half of his dial. Because you can see up top, he's just a running shot. Very vanilla, 10 attack, 18 defense, running shot 8. 6 range, not even that great. But on the back, he goes to sidestep 12, 18 with pen blast, and the attack damage goes up to 4. So this is one of those that if he gets hit on the first half, and this is the guy you would bring in. So it's actually... even though this is the one that I like the least, it's only because you don't start with him right away, which is why he wouldn't be up there, right? Because you don't start on this click, so you wouldn't be playing him right away. But then if the other guys, the other shifting focus Thors get hit, then you can shift into this. So that's kind of interesting design. He's got Asgardian Avengers Deity Warrior, standard 75 points, 7 clicks, solid stats all the way through. But definitely, he's kind of like not even a late game, just later in the dial kind of guy. All right, so the next one here is Ulik, King Ulik, sorry, number 34. He's 65 points for 7 clicks. It's pretty good. Reduces all the way down. Asgardian Brute Monster Ruler, good keywords. And he has a trait, Unstoppable Army of Trolls, Leadership Mastermind. When King Ulik uses leadership and succeeds, you may instead generate a Rock Troll Bystander. And the Bystander is pretty good. It is a 7, 11, 18, 3. And it's just free. So this is something that, anytime you look at a free Pog generator that can do it multiple times in a game, especially if it's generating extra elements that don't cost points, that's what you got to look at least worth looking at. Mastermind means if you're getting the trolls, rock trolls, he'll mastermind them if he gets hit. Now, just looking at his stats, they're really solid. 11 10s and 11 10 and then 12 on the back end with imperv and toughness, and then he has exploit for 3 for the first half, and then on the back end he's got close combat expert, charge sidestep, so he can move. He keeps moving all the way through. He's your typical just Asgardian beat stick for 60, and he's only 65 points. So if you're looking for the keywords to play, any of these keywords, and you're looking for like a solid beat stick that can do extra things, like make guys, and also fills your leadership role. King Ulik, you could do much worse than this guy. So he's definitely. He's gonna get overshadowed because there are much more. There are like other options for monsters and rulers, but this guy's solid. I think he's definitely solid first points. Okay, the next one is Kurse, number 35. 60 points, 6 clicks. He's got the first half. He has like kind of two different. He functions 2 different ways, kind of. On the first half, he's got a foot power, bloodthirst, charge, sidestep, giant reach 2. It's pretty good. Charge sidestep's always something. And then giant reach. That means this guy's getting pretty far. And then he has living armor, which is the defensive power. Invulnerability. Curse takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks or attacks from equipped characters. Protected outwit. So they can't outwit it. What's cool about this is most of the time the characters that are going to be charging in nowadays usually have, either Dock Arms, Waldo Arms, Power Gem, Soul Gem, something like that. And which means he's only going to take 1. He's got invuln too, so if they're not doing enough damage, it's not going to get through, but he's only going to take 1. And if they think, well, you know what, let me just shoot you with this guy, well, he's still only going to take 1 because it's a range attack. And he has outwit too. He's only 60 points. And then on the back half, when he does, if you work through that and he gets on the back, he has Flurry, Steel Energy, Invuln, and Close Combat Expert. So he has Invuln his whole dial. Now keep in mind, when he does the Flurry with the Steel Energy, if he hits twice, he's going to heal 2, even if he doesn't have it on. If he's on click 4 and he hits twice, he'll heal up to click 2. So they have to go through that again. He's got armor as Guardian, Brute, Monster, Mystical Warrior. So of course, he's a monster and mystical. So he's it's another case of someone being overlooked because there are other options. But if you just look at the raw stats between this and King Ulik, they kind of fit the bill for everything. They can attack, and this guy even has outwit, and this guy's longevity as well. So invulnerable dial, why not? I think should probably take a look at him, especially if there's going to be more and more equipped characters attacking. So definitely a piece maybe you put even in your recruiter sideline for Doctor Strange because he's a mystical, or even as Guardian if you're playing Thor. All right, so next one is 36 Baron Zemo, and we're only looking at the 35.1 because I don't think he's that good at the higher point value, but also because he does a lot more for 35 points. You can fit a lot more things in here. So he's 6 range, Masters of Evil, team ability, 3 clicks, stealth, TK, mastermind, which is good, and he has a damage power, leadership, outwit. So he fits kind of like all the things you need for a 35-point support piece, right? He's got TK, he's got leadership, he's got outwit, and he can kind of stay in the back because he has stealth and he had mastermind, so he can like live longer. But it's the recruiter power, so it's the recruiter, but it's for Masters of Evil. If you're gonna look at a bunch of Masters of Evil things, this is, I think, the cheapest recruiter that you can play. So it's much better to use a recruiter on a character that's less points because it's not eating up. You're not spending a lot of points on it, because if you're going to use a recruiter on, let's say, a 50-60 point guy, for the most part, the 50-60 point guy should be attacking, not calling in someone even less points than himself. Whereas this scenario, he's 35 points, he can recruiter in a 50 point guy, because if like a 60 point guy died, you can call in a 50 point guy, and he's only 35, so you're actually going up in points. Whereas like something like Doctor Strange, most likely calling in like a Wendigo. So you're, instead of him attacking who's a 50 point guy that's capable attacker, you're calling in a 15 point piece. Granted, Wendigo is like a different case, but like the point is the point discrepancy is really what I'm looking at there. He's got Masters of Evil, Brute, Soldier, Thunderbolts. Decent, really we're going to probably look at Ruler, Soldier. But he would definitely have to be on a Masters of Evil heavy team, because for the recruiter effect to work, a Masters of Evil character has to be KO'd. So this is something that a character that could be more efficient, more effective down the line, if and when we get more Masters of Evil characters to fill out this archetype. So be on the lookout for this guy. Okay, and the next one we have Throg, 37A. This is the non-prime version. Guardian's team ability, 35 points, 5 clicks. Animal as Guardian's Galaxy Warrior, so Animal is already there. He's got quick to hold dial, toughness, super senses, close combat expert. Okay, that's good. He has a power for the first 3 clicks, puddle jumping, sidestep, free. If Throg occupies water terrain, place him in a square of water terrain within 6 squares of line of fire. Okay, so for 35 points, you're getting a 12 attack, 3 damage, tiny character, so you can carry him around. That's you could do a lot worse for 35 points, right? 5 clicks, sidestep. Now, if you're able to get the map and you're on a water map, this guy basically has like an 8 square charge, and he can attack after, because he can sidestep 2 and then go into water there, and then he can play 6 squares away, so that's 8 squares, and then he can attack. Or if you're gonna play in silver, he could do the same thing, sidestep and then free, and then call in a guy, right? Because 35 points, you could call in Flash or something. Or he can, do the sidestep, call in the guy, that does something, and then he can free place back to another water, a water terrain 6 away, and then make the ID card guy poof so that they can't retell. So there are a lot of little moves you could do with this guy. 35 points, not too many, but also it will restrict you on the characters you can call in, although there are a lot of good, characters that are under 35 points you can call in with the ID card. So, and also he could be a good, tertiary attacker. 12 for 3. It's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to look at number 38, Mary Jane. This is the one that, a lot of people have been looking at as like one of the top tier pieces, but I have my reservations about this just because you're going to have to be playing a Spider Family team and bringing over Asgardian and deity keywords, because Mary Jane, we're looking at the 40.1, of course. She has My Kind of Allies trait. When establishing theme teams, characters on your starting force with the Asgardian or deity keyword gain the Spider-Man family keyword. That's good only if you need to bring an Asgardian or deity over to a Spider Family team. If there's a Spider Family team that you want to play and you really need an Asgardian or deity that you wanted to put on that team, then she'll be the one to bring it over. However, you're also paying 40 points for her. It's not too bad. She's, 4 clicks, she can attack. She's running shot, energy explosion, but she's only 4 clicks. She could just die real quickly. She has call-in help from the Spider-Verse. When she hits an opposing character, if no other character, blah, 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 you can place a Spider Family guy. And then pinned by the hammer, when Mary Jane hits with a range attack, choose a hit target. Until her next turn, the character is immobile and modifies attack and defense -1. Not bad. But again, 40 points for 4 clicks when we're looking at... We just saw a 5-click, 35-point character that has, to me, a little bit more upside. This one, you're paying a lot more points for the trait to bring over to Spider Family. So maybe you want to combine Asgardian or deity with, let's say, Soldier, but then now you're playing this, and then you're playing 1776 or Celebrity. So you're kind of adding a lot more points to your team. So it could work, but I just think she's not quite as high on my list as I see other people making her out to be. But I could be wrong. I haven't, we've seen a few tournaments now, and none of them have played her. So, so far I'm right. Okay, so the next one we have Wrecker 43A. This is the non-prime version. He's got 2 bolts, Masters of Evil team ability, 70 points, 7 clicks. It's pretty good. Brute Masters of Evil Wrecking Crew. So the keywords are kind of narrow. He has got Destroy Blocking Terrain for movement, which is good because there's, Molecule Man, you got to be able to deal with him. And then he has Pound You into the Pavement. When Wrecker hits with a close attack, after resolutions, you may generate a debris marker in a hit target square. Unique modifier. Opposing characters occupying or adjacent to one or more debris markers modify attack -1. That part's cool. It's really the part where when he hits, he makes a debris marker in a hit target square, because if you're playing a Wrecker with the legacy characters from the legacy carded Wrecking Crew guys from this set, they cannot be shot at or outwit if they are, I think, near a debris marker. So as long as he hits or runs through blocking, and they all break blocking when they move, then he can he basically protects them. And what's cool is it's generated. You generate the debris marker in their square, and it doesn't go away. So it's always going to be there. So as long as he hits first on a map that's open, let's say there's no blocking, as long as he gets in there and hits, then the rest of your Wrecking Crew guys should be good to go, because they just got to move close to it. Then they can't be shot at. His stats are pretty solid. He's got Quake all the way through, Charge, Flurry, Sidestep, Reducers all the way down, Imperv to Invuln. That's tough. Close Combat, Expert to Exploit. So he's a 12 for 4 up top. If he charges in with an object, I mean, that's 5. And of course, because the Wrecking Crew guys are all close combat guys, the Masters of Evil will also kind of pump their attacks, because they're going to give -1 defense to the defenders. So that's another plus for these guys. So I don't know how good the Wrecking Crew could be with Masters of Evil, but you put those guys together with maybe Zemo, and you can recruit in more guys. Who knows? So another guy to take a look at, keep an eye on. All right, and I believe the last one here is Thor, number 44. This is the Jane Foster Thor. She's 100 points, 7 clicks. She does a lot of stuff. Good stats, you know, 18, 17s, 4 damage up top, and then 3s all the way down, and close combat on the back end, flurry on the back end, outwit in the mid dial, and then of course the first 2, she flies 2, and the first 2 clicks, Goddess of Thunder, that's the foot power, speed power, charge. When Thor uses it, if her Mjolnir marker is not on the map, don't have speed. So she can move 10 if she doesn't do that. We'll talk about that later. And then the hammer spin, which is the defense power. Impervious, energy deflection, but only if Thor's Mjolnir marker is not on the maps. So it's even harder to shoot her if she just doesn't make it. It's going to be a 20. 21 if hindering, maybe. Okay. Now, the Let Mjolnir Fly, the trait. Free, if Thor hasn't been moved or placed this turn. If the opposing character is adjacent, generate a marker, Mjolnir marker. And then free, roll 2d6, and then you move it horizontal or vertical both times. And then if it passes through a character, opposing character, you attack them. Or if it goes through a blocking, you break it, and then it's removed. So this is very similar to Darkseid's. So the Darkseid effect and mechanic is very strong. It's just that he's 200 points. Now they have it on a 100-point figure. She's doing, you know, quite a bit of damage too, 4 damage. And if you give her any kind of some boost, either in power or power gem or something, she's doing a lot. Now you can use her a couple ways. You can use her to full move charge, or you can use her to kind of stay back, hunker, you know, bunker down, and then make the Mjolnir and just let that fly and then run through and hit people, kind of like what they do with Darkseid. And she's only 100 points. She has a long dial, and she has outwit in the middle. Even if she does get hit, I mean, flurry with close combat expert, that's going to be 11 for 4. Jeez. I think she's really solid. Maybe in silver, I think the ID call-in might work, because if you call her in, as long as she doesn't get called in next to somebody, she can generate the Mjolnir, move it, attack them, and then she can regular attack herself. So she kind of has like a mini flurry. Or you can just play her on the team, and like I said, you can build around that. She has Asgardian, Avengers Deity. So an Avenger team, she could be a really solid piece for silver as an ID battery as well. So if you want to play her in the back and you just want to let the Mjolnir fly and just use that to attack, and then you can call in ID cards with her. You know, she's calling green arrows and stuff. She's 100 points. So you can play her that way too. Or you can just use her as aggro piece and just charge all the way in there and then see what happens. Because she is pretty resilient. So I like this figure. 100 points is kind of steep, so we'll see how people can fit her in, but I like her. So, all right, well, that's the video for the rares. I know we did a lot there. I don't think I really missed anything that was that good, but because this is a lot already. This is almost all of them. But there are some really good rares here. I really want to see a Wrecking Crew team do something, because they are kind of like a WWE team. I want to see this Thor do something, and then of course the lesser known King Ulik Kurse pieces. I think those are really efficient and solid for their points. It's just, you know, they kind of overlook, like I said, because there are other pieces to look at, like Blackheart. So, all right, that's what I got. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be moving on to the super rares, and I'll be back next time. All right. Until next time, guys, remember, only bad players blame the dice. See ya.